It is the way, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is the way. What's up, guys? It is Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 854,833. TikTok next block. And if you don't know what the Bitcoin block height is, go ahead and Google that and study it, ladies and gentlemen. Study it. So we're in the last day of July, and tomorrow's August 1st. And some things happened over the last 24 hours that I wanted to talk to everybody, but specifically my Black Americans, my African Americans, brothers and sisters, whatever you want to call yourself, melanin skin, black, whatever, right? We're all God's children. Let's talk about Kamala Harris first. Kamala Harris came out to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and had a rally. Just to let you know, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jerry from Jerry Loves Freedom. First of all, guys, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. All my subscribers here, if you want to help the channel, go ahead and send this video to anyone that's black that you know, and sit down, have them sit down and listen to this. And I'm going to talk to you frank here, okay? I'm a Bitcoin educator. I've been living in America all my life, and I got some experience and some different things, but I don't know everything. I'm learning. But what I do know is America is not as racist as they say it is, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So Kamala Harris did a rally pandering to black people, pandering to black folks. And if you're a black person and you're considering voting for Kamala Harris, and again, I'm not going to tell anybody how to vote or anything like that, but if you vote for Kamala Harris, I would highly consider thinking about that first, right? I know Trump's the bad guy, and he's terrible, and he's a racist, everything else, and I'll get to that in a second. But Kamala Harris came to Atlanta, Georgia, and did a pandering speech. And before she did her speech, Quavo came out there, the rapper, and he came out there and he got paid a paid shill to do that. Don't listen to these celebrities, guys. Don't take political advice from celebrities first and foremost, okay? Because these people are not people that you want to follow. Just because somebody can rap or sing or dance, don't mean they know what the hell they're talking about in politics. Then you got Megan Thee Stallion, who I like some of her songs, and she's a nice looking woman, but there's a time and place for everything. And she dressed up in some kind of suit thing, whatever, and of course she went out there and did what she does best, and she went out there twerking at a presidential rally. Let me ask y'all a question, black folks. Do you think Kamala Harris or anybody else, any presidential candidate, even Kamala Harris, you think they would do this for anybody else besides black people? No? Okay, good. If they wouldn't, what's that say? What are they saying to you, right? What are they saying that you want to see? You want to see a rapper talk to you? You want to hear a woman that pretends to be black? And in my opinion, from what I know now, she's not black. Guys, if you don't believe me, listen to Judge Joe Brown. He knows a lot more than me. And so far, from what I've seen, the evidence, she's not black. And she comes out there, and she went to high school in Canada, the reports say, and she grew up in California. Why is she talking like that? Why is she up there talking with that southern drawl and everything else? Why is she talking like that? You know, I lived in the South for a while. My family is from the South. I lived in New York. I live on the West Coast now. And I know when people are being fake and phony. And Kamala Harris is the fakest you'll ever see. And she's pandering to black people. She's a puppet, ladies and gentlemen. She ain't Barack Obama or Michelle Obama. And she don't give you know what. She don't give a you know what about black people. And she showed y'all last night she doesn't. And if you're not mad and upset and mad as hell about that, then I don't know what to tell you, man. But don't fall for the I gotta vote for the black woman stuff, right? Again, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but try to look at the policies, right? Because you want to look at meritocracy. You want to look at what their merits are. Doesn't matter if they're black or white or a woman or whatever, because their policies are terrible. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's policies, objectively speaking, are not good for America. And if you have a presidential nominee, and all they're talking about is identity politics of how good of a person she is because she's black or white, and how bad the other person is. And they're not actually talking about what they're going to do for you in this country, you know, in their policies. Then there's probably a reason why, right? Also, these people are liars, especially a lot of the Democrats. Now, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, right? Republicans lie too. I do like Donald Trump, and I do like the MAGA movement, not the Republican Party, but the MAGA movement. And what MAGA means is make America great again, okay? And last time I checked, I do want my country to be great. Don't you? And they're telling you, they're trying to attach that MAGA thing, because Democrats, what they're really good at is they're very good marketers. Very good marketers. And they'll tell you that MAGA means racist. MAGA means your body is not yours, and MAGA means dictator and all these other things. It doesn't mean any of those things, right? All she's going to talk about, Kamala Harris, is she's a black woman, she's a woman, her identity, and Trump's a racist, Trump's bad, Trump's a dictator, and abortion. That's it. She is the border czar, or she was the border czar, and she did a terrible job at keeping the border closed, objectively speaking. And now she's trying to tell you it's not. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, everybody knows what that is. Democrats used to say that was a good thing. We need more DEI in the country. Well, Joe Biden said himself that he wants a black woman to be his vice president. He hired one. And the only reason he hired Kamala Harris, not because of her merits, not because of what she did as an AG, Attorney General in California, which she was terrible at, not what she did as a prosecutor, not what she did in the Senate, because she's as far left as you can see. She's so progressive. She's terrible. He hired her because she was a black woman, and she went off on him on the stage in 2019 in the first debate of the presidential debate, Democratic presidential debate, when she basically said that he's a rapist and he's a racist, Joe Biden. And they thought she had some jazz, and the way she talked was good. And he's like, you know, we can hire her as a vice president in name only, because she didn't do nothing in the office. And again, she's a terrible lawmaker. She was terrible at her job. And just ask yourself, how did she get those jobs in California? Who did she rub elbows with or rub something else with? Google Willie Brown if you want to know. She will be terrible for this country, in my humble personal opinion. Do you know who Mayor Brandon Johnson is from Chicago? The woke Mayor Brandon Johnson, the most progressive mayor probably in the history of this country, probably the most terrible history mayor in the country, besides the other black lady from Illinois, not Chicago, but the other one. You know what I'm talking about, the crazy black girls doing all the bad stuff. Mayor Johnson, his whole constituency in Chicago hates him because he brought in all the illegals. The crime is crazy. Gun violence is through the roof. And every single metric of crime is off the charts. And the only reason people voted for him because he's black. If you want to see what America will look like, that's all you got to do. Take Joe Biden's America right now and sprinkle some Mayor Brandon Johnson on top of that. And that's Kamala Harris's America. And I'm telling you, I know you think you're helping black people by voting for her, but you're actually doing the opposite. Because when they bring these illegal immigrants into America, guess whose jobs and neighborhoods they take? They go into black neighborhoods. And when you go into a black neighborhood, that means a black person that could have got that job will not get that job because of two reasons. One, they're going to work for cheaper, the illegal immigrants. And two, per capita is going to go up, and there's going to be more people in the city or in the place. And if they don't get the job, what are these people going to do if they don't get the job? These illegal immigrants, because they're illegal, they broke the law to get in. They're going to commit crimes, and the prices are going to go up for things because they're going to be stealing and everything else. And then they're going to be taking, if they don't go to work too, and they're getting free stuff, and they're not helping, put in with taxes and everything else and putting it into the system. Guess who pays for them to get free lunches, free place to stay, food stamps, clothes, all kind of different benefits, medical. Take a wild guess who pays for that. You guessed it, me and you. So I would take a hard look at the policies and not the identities before you vote for Kamala Harris. Now let me talk about Donald Trump. Now I'm going to transition this. It has something to do with Kamala Harris too. So Donald Trump went to a all-black speaking event where the black journalists came and talked to him. It was 3 black girls talked to him. And he gets out there, and of course the mainstream media is going to paint it like Donald Trump is a racist, because they have to do that. They have to talk about him as a racist and stuff like that. You guys ever wonder, the people that hate Donald Trump, you ever wonder why they attack him so much? Is it because he's that bad? Is he that bad of a person? How come they never attacked him before he became president? They only started attacking him in the summer of 2015 when he came down the escalator. Before that, they never say anything about him. The reason why they attack him, just in case you didn't know, it's not because he's a racist. It's not because he's a dictator. It's not because he's trying to take over the country and making everything evil and stuff like that. And he's Adolf Hitler reincarnated. It's not because of or the Antichrist, one of my homeboys said today. Jesus. It's because he's not part of the club. And Republicans and Democrats together work in unison, in a uniparty, okay, to do a lot of bad things in this country that he actually wants to clean up, and they can't have no part of it. So these big companies, the military-industrial complex, oligarchs and the like, they all own the companies that own the journalists, quote unquote, because they're not journalists, they're propagandists, and these mainstream media outlets, and their job is to do nothing but bash Donald Trump and say the same things over and over again. And unfortunately, it works. But now that we have social media with Twitter, X, and all these other platforms, people are starting to come out and tell you the truth. But when they do tell you something that's outside of their propaganda or their narrative, they'll call you and say that you're a conspiracy theorist, and it's a conspiracy theory. So back to Donald Trump. So he comes there, and then the first black lady just completely attacks him, right? Now, they started off 30 minutes late, the council or whatever attacked him. If you didn't see it, I'll leave a link below to it. And then they went back and forth and everything else. And everybody's saying that Donald Trump is afraid to debate Kamala Harris. Well, Kamala Harris was invited there too. And so when this lady came and basically attacked Donald Trump, didn't say hello to him, didn't say, sorry, I'm late. She just attacked him on basically accusing him of being a racist. The first thing he says is, hey, why is Kamala not here? You know what I mean? And then he asked if she was a DEI hire. If I was him, I like the way he answered it, but I'm not a nice guy. She is a DEI hire. Absolutely she is. That's the only reason she's in the office. But again, Democrats, if DEI is so good, then why is it bad to hire Kamala Harris as a DEI hire? That's supposed to be a good thing. Affirmative action is supposed to be a good thing. Remember? Who cares about people's merits and the meritocracy? Let's talk about their skin color and who they have sex with and what their sex is, allegedly. Right? Well, when it's Vice President Kamala Harris and she's a woman, that's off the table. And it's not good, guys. It's not good. So Donald Trump is walking around with his arm tied behind his back. And now, of course, anytime he talks to a black woman or black women or about black women, they're going to call him a racist. That's just the playbook, guys. And racism is a scare tactic from the left to keep you as a black person on the Democratic plantation. And what do I mean by a Democratic plantation? The Democratic plantation is basically the same as the slave plantation. They keep you always there and happy, and they never want you to leave. They take you for granted, and they want you to work for them. How do they want you to work for them? Obviously, they want your vote. They want your vote, number one. And number two, they want you out there advocating for what they do. The Democratic Party today's Democratic Party, the progressive, the far lefts, are absolutely evil, in my opinion. I'm not saying you're evil. I'm talking about the people above the Democratic Party that's paying them, and then they're doing their marching orders for what they're paid, is an evil cabal. They want black women to kill babies. That's the number one killer for black people, by the way. They want black women to kill babies and then call it an autonomous right to your body to kill a baby. That's number one. Number two, they want to keep the black man out of the family. And how do they do that? They want to give a platform for rap music and all this degeneracy so that black women can go out there and basically be promiscuous, have sex with a bunch of different men, have babies with a few different men, have 4 or 5 baby dads. That way, it's a good chance that the black man won't be in the house, and that way the government can be your daddy. And then once the government's your daddy, what do? They'll tell you they'll take care of you. And then when they take care of you, what are they going to give you? They're going to give you free housing, food stamps, money, as long as you keep the black man out of the house. That was started in the 1960s by Lyndon B. Johnson. You don't believe me, look it up. Don't trust, verify. And that's what they want. So what happens when those kids grow up, those black young men grow up? Well, you think they're going to be good men? You think they're going to be law-abiding citizens when they're getting raised by a woman that doesn't know any better, when she didn't make good decisions with men? I'm not saying they're bad people, right? But they usually don't have a man, isn't married, had babies out of wedlock, and then the boys that have 3, 4, or 5 different baby dads don't have a father figure in their life, probably living in the ghetto, being around drugs and crime and all this other stuff, not respecting law and order, not having a man to tell them what time it is or show them what's going on. What do you think is going to happen? I think you know the end of the story. They're going to end up being criminals, and that's what the Democrats want. And then once you are a criminal and you go to prison, they're going to call you a victim, and they're going to say, oh, that's the white man's fault. That's why you need to vote for us, because we're here to save you. And it's a revolving door, ladies and gentlemen, and these people are evil. Kamala Harris, anybody in the Democratic Party, excuse my French, don't give a fuck about you. They don't, okay? And if you don't believe me, hey, look it up yourself, ladies and gentlemen. I used to be a Democrat myself. I grew up in New York State, so I know better. I got out of the Democratic Party around 2010 when Barack Obama, his first term, I voted for him the first time. I didn't vote for him the second time. And once I found out this was all a scam, I said, you fooled me once. Shame on you. Fooled me twice. Shame on me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, guys. And listen, this is not any disrespect to any of you black people out there. I'm black myself, obviously. But I love America, and I love all God's children. I don't like to separate people, and because that's what they want, guys. They want black people to not like white people and white people not like black people. And they want to paint the white man as the evil man and the black man as a victim. Black men, black women, you're not victims. You're kings and queens. You can do whatever the hell you want in this country. You know, my grandparents raised me. My grandparents lived in the South. They went through real racism. Not this nonsense they're talking about. And I would be damned if my grandparents that went through real racism in the South, when it literally had colored bathrooms and colored fountains and shit like that, they moved up north to get away from that, and they had to go through the 1960s, all the stuff, you know, the civil rights movement and all this other stuff. And then I was born 1975, and yeah, I went through a little bit of racism here and there, but I'll be damned in 2024 that I'll spit on my grandparents' grave and say that I'm a victim, because I'm not no victim. You're not no victim in this country. And I'm telling you, I've been all over the world in the military. It's the greatest country in the world for black Americans and black people anywhere on this planet. So listen, guys, if you want to learn more about this stuff and politics and Bitcoin, I'm an educator on that. Not politics as much, but Bitcoin I am. And despite all that stuff that's going on, ladies and gentlemen, because politics are corrupt, there is one thing that's not corrupt. And despite them printing money and inflation going up, because that's what inflation is, ladies and gentlemen. It's not prices going up. It's the government, black and white people, red and blue people, printing too many US dollars, causing them to lose their purchasing power. There's only one thing that can not only keep up with inflation, but beat inflation and not be corrupt. And I showed it to you earlier. And I think you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.